What is up, guys? Welcome back to Cogs, episode 7. Today I'm going to be talking about something I touched on last episode, which was kind of giving the cicada solvers community a boost. So what kind of happens is the Liber Primus puzzle's been around for basically 10 years now. You're just 3 months shy of that margin, and we've discovered that over time it can be hard to motivate yourself since the puzzle is there's no real urgency to it. It's been 10 years. There's a good chance it's not going to be solved in the next day, so you can afford to wait that day. And then that day kind of just snowballs into a week, a month, a year, and even longer in terms of like serious solving attempts and the gap in between them. But however, there is another side to this. It is easier to motivate yourself when there are other people working. And this is like a pretty well studied phenomenon that I'll touch on in a bit. But basically, I want to give a boost to the solving community, or I want to talk about that sort of idea. This is a well-studied phenomenon that more people working gives you more of a chance to be productive. This is an idea I had about 2 years ago, I think 2 Januaries ago. And I think now it's about time I kind of like put it into words and kind of like, like explain it to a pretty like well explained point of view. So I feel importantly, the studies behind this are pretty important to give some sense of credibility to what I'm saying. Now granted, I haven't done too much research on that, like a psych major. I have more important things to do, like learn what a threat is, apparently. But basically, there have been kind of studies showing that working in teams makes you more productive. Even if you're not necessarily interacting with them, I'm pretty sure there's like some study that like there's like an office and like people were like in cubicles, but like they moved a few of the cubicles like away from the rest of them. So there's like 30 in one like part of the room and like another five like somewhere else. Um, and the people in the 30, even though they weren't like necessarily communicating with each other all the time, like they were more productive. And the five on the outside were just like their productivity kind of tanked. But when they were all put together, like the 30, like the 40 of them or whatever, all in like the one area, like they were more productive. Like even like the five that were on their own previously, their productivity increases by being with the other people. Um, and I'm not sure the exact reasons behind this, but there have been kind of there are reasons to believe that it's just because um, or one, I think like the sense of like camaraderie, teamworkship, but when you're not working together specifically, it often you can kind of look from you can look at this from like a perspective of like there's a lot of like uh, ways to like increase productivity. There have been studies for like ADHD people or people with ADHD. That sounded a little offensive. I didn't mean that. But basically, there's this common phenomenon or like practice of body doubling, where basically you have somebody who's necessarily trying to get work done, or both of them, and if they work together, even if they're not necessarily talking to each other, just in the same space or on a VC together, um, they're more productive. And this is the theory. I'm pretty sure is just that like you're being perceived, or like even if just the illusion of being perceived, you will be more productive as a result. And while this is typically practiced in like ADHD literature, like pretty, it's kind of commonplace there. It still works on a broader scale. For basically, it's a tool for helping like increase motivation towards productivity, and especially here it is very important because we have so little motivation, whether ADHD or not. So it can that's a tool that can really be used, and it's something we want to do for like I know this is a big thing that Bach was a proponent of. So it's something we definitely want to do in the cicada solvers community. And speaking of doing it, why not do it on the like a very large scale? This is basically my idea of a boost. Like so, the idea, the main premise is if you're working with other people, you're more productive. So why not just spend like a whole week in VC? Basically, as we saw, like the most productive period of time I've ever been in was the documentary hype, where there were always people in VC for like at least like a week. And say we can run that back if you kind of force it or like give it a push and you just spend all your time in VC, you might be able to start like a hype phase, which is kind of what happened with the Red Book, which is like the when after the documentary dropped, that like that week long hype I was just talking about. So hopefully, if you push it, if you give the community like a boost, you can get to a point where the hype like will continue on organically without you having to like keep putting in that extra effort. So hopefully, um, like this is just a theory. I'm not necessarily going to put into action right now. I don't have the time, unfortunately. Although it would be kind of fun to just work on a bug or chase a bug on the internet for a week. You know, why not? So like this is like a kind of a common practice of like stimulating like a working environment. Like if you look at like stimulus checks like during like the COVID pandemic, I'm not sure about other countries, but they were in the US, where they just like give you money and like to hopefully like kind of boost the economy. Like that's literally what we're doing, but for solvers. Like I mean, the theory is I sit in VC and people are going to be more active. And the great thing is about it, it's proven to work at some extent. It's just kind of can you manage it and keep your time in and stay sane, because after all, you are looking at a bug on the internet. And I feel like this is um, pretty good to inspiring like the hype phase, and the hype phase is like something that's pretty. There's something I want to talk about in other episodes. I might do that in like the near future, but basically, the hype phase kind of consists of like uh like an increased excitement towards the puzzle, and not necessarily just increased productivity but an excitement, and that excitement is often what drives motivation, and the motivation is like major proponent of productivity. So the goal is not just to be productive, it's to be excited to be productive, and that is kind of what I consider like the a hype part of this. It's kind of a lame term, but I mean I'm just a teenager coming up with stuff, so I'll keep it for now. But basically, like that's kind of something I want to inspire the hype phase with a boost, and then hopefully organically it can kind of run out from there. But yeah, that's kind of it. It's another short episode, kind of compared to the last one. I probably could have combined them, but I mean, whatever is what it is. But yeah, that's kind of it for this one. And I don't know what I'm going to talk about next time, but I mean, I guess we'll just have to see. Might be next week, might be in 10 weeks, who knows. But anyways, guys, thank you and appreciate it.